Hey guys, this is Josh Peak. I'm the host of the Josh Peak Show. I appreciate you listening to this podcast. You can find me on the social media networks on Instagram at Josh Peak, Twitter at Josh Peak, and then as well as on Facebook, you can just type in Josh Peak. So this is the backstory to this podcast, this particular episode here. So I recorded the other night. There was a question on Facebook, August 28th, and the question is, if you could have one, would you rather have a great mentor or a college degree? And you know, that night, so it was a podcast. I hadn't put an intro or outro to it, so it was still raw. But after I started thinking about it, I'm like, gosh, I really didn't do. There were some things in there I didn't say that I wanted to say. So I decided to re-record it, and so I think you're gonna like this. I think you're gonna enjoy this podcast and what I have to say, because I think it really touches on where we're at right now. In 2020 with COVID, colleges being disrupted, high schools being disrupted, and I think people are looking maybe at an alternative route. And so anyways, again, I appreciate you listening to the show. You can find me on my website as well, www.joshpeak.com. If you want to get in contact with me, do that there on the contact tab as well. Thank you.
Josh Peak Show.
Hey guys, this is Josh Peak. I'm the host of the Josh Peak Show, and today I'm doing something a little bit different on this podcast. Usually we interview entrepreneurs, other podcasters, people that are producers and at the highest level in their profession. And today I'm going solo, and so I'm going back to some of my old Facebook posts in the last month or two here that really got a lot of traction. And this one is, if you could have one, this is a question. If you could have one, would you rather have a great mentor or a college degree? A great mentor or a college degree? And so I re-recorded this podcast because the first time I did it, I felt like I didn't do it justice. There were some things I left out that I'm like, after, thinking on it, I slept on it. I thought, man, I should, just re-record it. Just re-record this thing. So I did. And that's what I'm doing now. So the fact of the matter is, the way I look on, would I rather have a great mentor or a college degree? I do have a college degree, but and it's in marketing. Most everything that I've done, though, successfully has been, 99% of it. I can't think of anything that college gave me in terms of marketing that I'm doing today. Number one, I learned from great mentors that were college dropouts, extremely successful multimillionaires, and in some cases hundreds of millions. And these guys taught me things that I would have never learned in college. It was all theory in college, and so I personally would rather have a great mentor. Now, if you look at this post, it is August 28th. Then most people, I would say 95% to 5 ratio, wanted a great mentor, not a college degree. Now, if I would have held this, posted this question probably 2 years ago, it would have been about a 70-30 ratio. Now it's 95-5. Why? I think because of the times we're in with COVID, I think it's illuminated some things, and it showed people that, $200,000, $100,000 of student loan debt, whatever it is, $50,000, it makes zero sense when it comes to what you can make today out in the job market or whatever. You're seeing plumbers and electricians and home builders, marketers like myself. You're seeing people go out and make a lot of money on Instagram as well, Facebook, Twitter, social media folks. They're making a lot of money, and you don't have to go to college for that. You can go to LinkedIn Learning. You can go to YouTube. You can be an apprentice for someone, and I just think that's the best route to go. Now, if you're going to be an attorney, if you're going to be a doctor, if you're going to be an architect, CPA, whatever, you need to go to college for those things. I think college should be more specialized. And here's one of my arguments. If high schools do such a damn good job of teaching people English, math, and all these other subjects. Why the hell then are we taking Comp 1, Comp 2, algebra, college algebra, and all these things all over again? The first 2 years, to me, it's a damn joke that these people are, these colleges are forcing you to take these all over again. I think the minute you walk onto campus, you should start going after it should be specialized. You should start learning about your specific degree, if it's marketing, if it's finance, if it's law or whatever, right? So to me, it's a money grab. It's a complete money grab. And when you look at it, the government's got behind these student loans, so the colleges are going to get paid. It's the students that are the ones holding the bag. You can't file bankruptcy on a student loan. And we're talking, they'll give you $50, $100, $200,000 worth of student loans, but you can't take an 18-year-old kid out and get a business loan. And that business that may be getting funded, it could be the next Microsoft, it could be the next Apple, and yet these banks won't do it, right? So what made me think about this a little bit more, let's take a look. I listened to Adam Carolla's podcast talking about, this is the first wave of folks. He had a rant. It was the first wave of folks he was talking about, snowflakes and the millennials and whatever. And I'll tell you what, there are some great millennials. There are some great thinkers that are millennials that are doing some great things. But when you look at Portland and Seattle and Oakland and Chicago and Minneapolis, Kenosha, you start looking at these cities getting burned down. Half of these damn kids, they do have a degree. Or are trying to get a degree, right? Why? So it's like, well, this guy earned this woman earned this. Why do they have that? I should be able to burn it down or tear it up since I don't have it. I would argue that, and I think I don't have to stretch far on this one, that there is a lot of liberal teaching being taught on the college campuses. I know this because I learned from college professors that were the most liberal Looney Tunes that I have ever been around. I mean, I'm talking asshats, liberal folks here, right? That I don't think they really believed in capitalism. And is capitalism, I don't want to get off on that, but is capitalism, does it go awry at sometimes it does. It's not beautiful. It's not pretty all the time. But I can tell you, socialism and communism sure as hell isn't the answer. We've seen the blueprint on that and how that, ends up. But it's being taught a lot on college campuses. So I don't think a college degree is worth it. I would say find a great mentor, find someone who knows what the hell they're doing when it comes to, especially if you're going into business. What the hell are you going to learn from a college professor that is teaching all on theory? I had a mentor of mine ask a college professor one time. He said, "Look, I just sold my business. I'm going to college because I need to get my degree. I never finished, and I feel like I should. But my question to you is, the college professor, how much have you made in business?" He goes, "Well, I made some money." I mean, he said, "Well, some. What is some? How much is that?" He said, "Well, it wasn't too successful. It was $12,000 that I made on a business." And I'm talking over a substantial period of time. The guy asking the question was my mentor. And he said, "I just sold my business for millions. And I'm in here learning from you, a college professor who's teaching theory and BS to a bunch of students that's all going to have student loans, and you've only made $12,000? I mean, I should be the one teaching this class." And he got up and walked out. I'm just saying, for me personally, I think, I went to college, I didn't come out with any student loan. I mean, it's like very little, because wrestling paid for my way. And like my first month, I had my student loan paid off, right out of college. I had a job, and I was working for a friend who owned a large advertising agency. And by the way, he didn't have a college degree. And so I took all the money I made that month and just paid my student loan off. And I thought, there should be a digital version to this advertising agency. And that's exactly what I did. I went out and started my own digital marketing firm, which I still have today. We do social media for clients, for politicians, a portfolio of companies. We build chatbots, which I'm learning more and more on that every day. But it's not from a college. I'm learning from real life people that are having success with chatbots in Los Angeles and New York and Dallas, we mastermind. We have a mastermind. That mastermind is worth way the hell a lot more than what I would ever learn in a college. And so chatbot building is massive. To me, it's one of the main ways to generate revenue for companies, depending on what kind of company. But for most companies, when you can run a chatbot to SMS, to email marketing, you can get right to the damn point quick. You can get to the sell. You can eliminate or close a sale fairly quick with a chatbot versus going a traditional way of a sales process. So we do a lot of chatbot building, podcast platforms. I've been doing podcasting since 2007. Who did I learn that from? A guy that never graduated college, one of the biggest podcasters out there. And we were learning to write ad copy, direct response, and marketing from a guy in New Jersey at the time, the both of us, a guy that never graduated. I don't even think he went to college. And so all I'm saying is times are changing. Shift is happening. I think college is right for folks that are going to be an attorney. They're going to be a chiropractor. They're going to be a heart surgeon. They're going to be an architect, a CPA. But I think it should be more specialized, and let's stop the madness and the bull of these colleges saying, well, we have these, basically a buffet of different degrees. And when you sit there and you go, okay, well, what is the ROI on this? Like, what is the ROI on I have my bachelor's in history? What is the ROI on a bachelor's in political science? What is the ROI on a lot of these damn degrees, right? You're going to go pay all this money to be a high school teacher. Well, and I'm not going to talk about this a whole lot, but you make $30,000 to $60,000 a year being a teacher, depending on where you live in the United States. When now we're seeing charter schools, they're paying twice the amount. They're paying twice the amount of what a public school would, and that goes to show right there. That's just straight up capitalism. That's free enterprise, and so that was what I wanted to talk about. That's the answer I have on would I rather have a mentor or a great mentor or a college degree. I agree with about like the 95% that said this on the post. I said I would rather have a great mentor. Me too. And I have. That's what, to me, that's what's allowed me to have a bunch of successes, that I listen to people who's been there before me. Here's the cactus patch. Don't step there. Okay, I would rather learn from someone who has been there, they've done it, and they have a blueprint for me. You don't have a blueprint coming out of college. I mean, you do not have a blueprint coming out of college when it comes to business. Not at all. And so I want to get your opinion on this. I'm sure there's going to be some people that disagree with me on that, and that's fine. They'll say, well, college. It's the way to go. Okay, well then, what are you going to do with your college degree? How long is it going to take you to pay off your student loan? And basically, can you compress time like you can with a great mentor? A great mentor can compress time for you. So, and this would be my advice, like for my kids, if they want to go to college, take a gap year. Take 1 year off. Travel. Get a job somewhere. Go be an apprentice for somebody. Go learn the real world for 1 year. And I mean, go travel. Go to Colorado. Go up in the mountains. Go to Florida. Go somewhere and learn from somebody. Get a mentor to teach you for 1 year, and then decide, could this mentor take me further? Could I do better by myself, or do I still need to go to college? And maybe the answer is go to college for them. But for me, I wish, looking back, the one thing I got out of college more than anything, it was not the degree. It was the contacts. That's it. And that's the only advice, the only argument I've always made for college, is if you go to Northwestern or Columbia or NYU or Wharton, any of these great business schools, it would only be to get contacts. You can probably learn from a mentor a lot more than you're going to learn at any of these schools, but the contacts that you can get from those schools, that may be worth the price tag. You may be sitting next to a guy or a girl whose dad or mom owns a massive company, and they're looking for somebody, and that relationship allows you to go work with them. So there's that. That's the only argument I make for college. So with that being said, I appreciate you listening to this podcast. You can go find me on all the social media outlets, Twitter, at Josh Peak, Instagram at Josh Peak, and then on Facebook you can just type in Josh Peak. On this podcast, I appreciate if you'd give me a 5-star rating, and please leave a good review and subscribe to it. I appreciate that, and tell all your friends about this podcast too. We're growing at a rapid rate. We got people listening from all over the world due to my, when I'm looking at all of my stats and my analytics, it's growing at a bigger than I thought it would be. So it's turned out to be something really fun. It's just one pillar in my marketing funnel, and it's just a way for me to educate and bring up subjects just like this. So again, this is Josh Peak. I appreciate you tuning into this show, and you guys have a great rest of the day or evening wherever you're at. Thank you.